Over the last week or so, I've been reading this book called Psycho-cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. It's a classic book. I believe it was written in the 1960s. And essentially, the idea is it's a method for using your subconscious mind to change your self-image and change your beliefs about yourself. Now, when people talk about changing their self-image and their beliefs, and they talk about, changing their behavior, they usually try to do it from the level of their conscious mind. They try to act differently. They try to change their behavior by willing it into reality. And this book says that that is futile, and what you really should be doing is allowing the inherent structural processes of your subconscious to propel you forward with little conscious effort. In the book, it states that every human being has what they call an automatic servo mechanism. It's a goal-striving mechanism within the subconscious mind that is automatically always looking for ways to move your life forward. They relate it to animal instincts, like how birds immediately know how to fly south for the winter. Most of the tasks that we do on a daily basis happen using this automatic mechanism without our knowledge. Like when you go to pick up a cup of coffee, you are not consciously directing the muscles in your hands and your arms to move at the exact speed that you need in order to grab the cup. And you're not consciously contracting each muscle in your fingers and placing it on the correct spot on the cup in order to pick it up, and then thereby retracting the muscles and bring it up to your mouth. All of that happens unconsciously. The only thing that you do with your conscious mind in that process is you assign the task to your automatic mechanism. This is what he means in the book when he says that the conscious mind plays a very minimal role in achieving your goals and becoming the kind of person that you want to be. The only role that the conscious mind plays is serving goals to the automatic mechanism. So we do this with our imagination. Whatever we imagine in our mind, we're automatically feeding into this servo mechanism, and it's unconsciously playing out all of these different scenarios in our life. So if we're feeding it negative thoughts about ourselves and negative thoughts about our behavior, it's going to automatically play those out in our day-to-day lives. Now, let's say, for example, you have like a presentation to give at work. If you're nervous about that presentation, what you're going to do consciously is you're going to imagine yourself doing all the things that you don't want to see happen, because this is a habit. You have a habit of negative thinking. So you're going to imagine yourself stuttering, you're going to imagine yourself shaking, holding the paper, you're going to imagine everything that you don't want to happen, because that's what you've been doing your entire life. Now, what this book talks about is that you can do the exact opposite to work in your favor. You can imagine yourself beforehand giving the speech smoothly and saying things exactly how you want to say them. You can imagine yourself going up there with no nerves at all and smooth confidence. And according to this book, the exact result that you feed with your imagination is the one that will come to fruition. So these images that we have in our minds of how we behave and how we interact with the world, that makes up our self-image. And these are all just beliefs that we've carried with us for a long time. And you can change those beliefs in order to change your behavior just by imagining yourself as different, imagining yourself as the kind of person that you want to be. Forming mental pictures of yourself succeeding in whatever field you want to succeed in, taking care of yourself physically, training every day and eating right, imagining yourself in the kind of relationships that you want to have, loving, caring, fruitful relationships. You just start to form mental pictures of these things, and your automatic servo mechanism will start to make you behave like that kind of person. So there's a few conditions in order for this automatic mechanism to actually work appropriately. The first one is you have to imagine the goal as already in existence now. either in actual or potential form. It needs to be perceived as out there, as possible, as I just need to find out how to behave in order to get that thing. And this makes sense. If you don't believe that the thing that you want is already out there, then how can you expect to get it? So this is just common sense. Secondly, you have to relax and let the unconscious mechanism do its work. Now, you can't jam it with conscious effort because this is an unconscious process. You need to just present what you would like with your imagination, with your conscious mind, to the subconscious, and then relax and trust that it's going to do its job. It's kind of counterintuitive to everything that we've been told, like if you want to succeed, you have to work harder, you have to push harder to achieve your goals, you have to try, you have to do more. But this book is saying that all of that really is unnecessary. And the only thing that you have to do is hold that positive picture of your goals in your mind long enough and sit back, relax, and allow your mechanism to pull things out of the subconscious that you didn't even know that you had there. Spontaneous ideas or just ideas about the direction that you need to go into. You let that mechanism do all the heavy lifting. And your only job with the conscious mind is to feed it positive ideas and act upon those ideas. The third is you can't worry too much about failure or perceived failure because the mechanism works by trial and error. It makes a move and then adjusts course if necessary. So it'll recognize if you're not making the correct move that's going to move you towards your goal, and then it will make a different move for you, or it'll come up with a new idea, or it'll change course just slightly. And this is how it has to learn. So you have to consciously move forward with the mechanism, irregardless of proof if it's working or not. You just have to surrender and trust that you're moving in the right direction, even when you make mistakes. Now, the book talks about the beliefs that we serve up to our creative mechanisms all the time with our imagination, and how most of them are just inherently untrue, and how you can use rational thinking in order to start serving yourself better beliefs. So if you're conscious enough about how you're picturing yourself and how you're imagining yourself on a day-to-day basis, you'll realize that a lot of it is pretty negative. You expect yourself to fail. You expect things to be difficult. You expect things to not go your way. And then you wonder why they don't go your way. You're just serving yourself exactly what you don't want to see happen, and then expecting the opposite to happen, and then complaining when it doesn't happen. It's completely irrational. So the book asks you to take some of the beliefs that you have about yourself and about your life and to really question them thoroughly. Think, why do I actually have this belief and where did it come from? And then think, is this belief rational? Is it based in objective reality, or is it based in just a preconceived notion that I have about myself? And then it asks you to ask yourself, would I hold this belief about somebody else in a similar situation, or am I only holding it about me? And it asks you to question these beliefs. And oftentimes, at least I found in myself, is that they're not based in objective reality. They're based off of negative experiences that I've had in the past that I'm projecting onto the future. So yeah, come to that understanding within yourself that maybe these negative thoughts and beliefs that I have about myself aren't based in anything rational, and I've been brainwashed, so to speak, by my past experiences or my past habits. So whenever you have a negative thought about yourself, you should become consciously aware of it and not let it just slide by. You should examine it and think, okay, why exactly is this thought here, and is this rational? Or am I just irrationally reacting to unconscious ways of living that I've fallen victim to in the past? The Bible talks about something similar. It says, take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. And I think that that's a really positive way to look at our thought processes, because a lot of your thoughts aren't even your own thoughts. They were just things that you chose to believe unconsciously based on past experiences, past negative experiences. So yeah, every time that there's a negative thought, pull it down, examine it, and make it obedient to the image that you would like to have of yourself, not of the one that you currently hold. Yeah, so this book just offers a really cool and kind of easy to digest understanding of our beliefs and how they shape our lives and how we can change them, And the protocol for how you do this is, it says for 30 minutes a day, find a spot where you can be completely undisturbed, and then you close your eyes and you imagine the end goal of how you want your life to look, whatever the goal is. Maybe it's, being healthier, being stronger, achieving a certain goal at work, or, nailing that presentation that you have coming up, or whatever the goal may be. You sit there and you vividly imagine yourself behaving in the way that you want to behave, feeling good about it, moving the way that you want to move. And you do this for 30 minutes every single day. You start using your imagination to serve your automatic mechanism positive images about yourself, as opposed to the negative ones that you've been serving it for years. And allegedly, according to this book, you'll find yourself behaving like that person more and more every single day, because that's the mechanism doing its work. So I'm going to be doing a little experiment on myself. I've already started. I've been doing it for the last 5 or so days, but in the book it says specifically, do it for 3 weeks. Every day, lay down for 30 minutes and envision yourself acting and behaving as if the end goal was already in reality, and see what happens. I'm going to suspend all my disbelief. I'm going to not use too much conscious effort. I'm going to relax. I'm going to surrender, and I'm going to see what can come of this. It's exciting stuff, and it'll be a cool experiment. It's a really cool book. If you guys haven't read it, Psycho-cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. I have one of the older versions. I recommend that you get the updated and expanded version. I feel like it's a little more palatable for the modern day. But yeah, give it a read, try it out for yourselves, and I'll keep you guys updated on my little experiment and see how it goes. So yeah, hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Peace.